So today we will start with chapter 12, mutating data. In the previous chapter we have implemented search and pagination. So we have covered these chapters in the Next.js learn. So now in this chapter we will cover let's continue working on invoices page by adding ability to create, update and delete invoices. So in this chapter we will learn what text server actions are and how to use them to mutate data, how to work with forms and server components, and best practices for working with native form data object including type validation, how to revalidate client cache using revalidate path API, how to create dynamic route segments with specific IDs, how to use React's form states for optimistic updates. Okay, first we will learn what is server actions. They eliminate the need to create an API endpoint. Instead, you write asynchronous function. Now, instead you write asynchronous functions that execute on server and can be invoked from your client or server components. So security is a top priority for web applications as they can be vulnerable to various threats. This is where server actions come in. They offer an effective security solution protecting against different types of attacks, securing your data, ensuring authorized access. Server actions achieve this through techniques like post request, encrypted enclosures, strict input checks, error message hashing, host restrictions, all working together to significantly enhance your app's safety. Okay, so server actions are mostly used with forms. So here we will learn how to use it with forms. In React, you can use action attribute in the form element to invoke actions. The action will automatically receive the native form data object containing captured data. So here, suppose you have a server component, this page, and you have the form returned, and inside this you can use async function, like you can name it create. So it will receive form data if you use it with action attribute inside form, and you will provide it here, and then you have to inside it you have to use server. And our advantage of invoking a server action within a server action is progressive enhancement. Forms work even if JavaScript is disabled, so that's a progressive enhancement. Server actions are deeply integrated with Next.js caching. When a form is submitted through a server action, not only can you use action to mutate data, but you can also evaluate the associated cache using APIs like revalidate path and revalidate tag. Caches. So this is a little longer stream, so I will be skipping the quizzes. You can do quizzes by yourself if you want to. So let's jump to creating an invoice. Okay, here are steps you will take to create a new invoice. Create a form. Okay, now we have in our current website. In the previous chapter, we have implemented pagination and search, right? So if I write delta, it will put a request to server and it will search the name delva. So that's what it has implemented. So now it is taking some time. Okay, so results are there. We have a table. There are pagination implemented in this table. So this is the invoices page. Okay, so now nothing is created on this page. So what we will do, we will create a component. Here are steps you will take to creating this device. Create a form. First create a form to capture user input. Create a server action and invoke it from form. Inside your server action, extract the data from form data. Then validate and prepare the data to be inserted into a database. Insert the return, handle any errors, revalidate the cache, and redirect the user back to invoices page. Create a new route and form. To start inside invoice origin, create a new route called create with page.tsx file. Okay, inside invoices. Uh, Let me collapse all these folders. Inside invoices, we have to create a new folder. Create. Inside this, we have to create page.tsx. ਹਾਂਜੀ just wait 2 minutes, I will come back. So you will be using this route. We have created the page.tsx, and inside this paste the following code, then spend some time studying it. We have pasted the code in create. They have imported form from invoices create form, already created the form. Choose customer, select customer, choose an amount. They have given a label, then an input. What is this? So many nested divs. Okay. Breadcrumbs, invoice breadcrumbs. They created a breadcrumbs through Tailwind styling. Okay, so they also used fetch customers. So your page is a server component that fetches customers and passes it to form component and save time. To save time, we have already created form component for you. Navigate to form component, you will see that form. It has one select drop down with a list of customers and one input element for the amount type number for an element with a type radio, and has one button type submit. This is a button type submit. Okay, these are input type radio. Here we will select the paid or pending. Okay, so this is how it will be visible. We will click on create invoice. Let me refresh this if it is working. We currently have some stream issue. Okay, so finally we can see our create page is created. Create invoice. We have choose a customer, select a customer. It has a drop down. Okay, it has fetched this data from our existing customers database. We have to choose the amount in US dollars, set an invoice status, paid or pending. Can I select it? Okay, this is something else. Okay, so now create a server action. Now we will create a server action. Great, now let's create a server action that's going to be called when the form is submitted. Now we go to the lib directory, create a new file named actions.ts. We will go to our lib library, create actions.ts, and the top of this file add the react use server directive. Okay, By adding use server, you mark all the exported functions within the file as server functions. These server functions can then be imported into client and server components, making them extremely versatile. You can add server actions directly inside server components by adding use server inside the action, but for this course, we'll keep them all organized in a separate file. So they are saying that you can use server actions directly inside component, but here we are creating another file, actions.ts. We will create server action inside this and then use it in our components. Or I can see import in our components. In action.ts, create a new async function that accepts form data. Okay. We have async function that accepts form data. Then in your form component, import create invoice from action.ts file and add action attribute to the form element and call create invoice. So inside our form, wait, invoices, where was a create form? Okay, we have to import create invoice. Invoice. No. Create invoice from actions. Then inside our form, we will use action attribute and provide create invoice inside it. So this is our server action now. This is actually the server action create invoice. Now inside the form, we will provide create invoice inside action attribute. Okay, behind the scenes, server actions are actually creating a post API endpoint. This is why you don't need to create API endpoint manually when using server actions. So our API is already created. That's great. Extract data from form data. Okay. So now back in action, you will need to extract the values of form data. There are a couple of methods you can use. For example, let's use, okay. We will paste it here. Raw form data, get customer ID, get data, get amount, get status, test it out. Let me test it out. Let me fill something here, like ML, choose an amount, $500 paid. Did we get the, yes, we get the data, we get the customer ID, we get amount, we get paid. Okay, the exact amounts we have entered in form. Working the forms that have many fields, you may want to consider using and object from entries. For example, to check everything connected correctly, go and try the form to submit. You will see the data you. Now validate and prepare the data. We need to app lib definitions.ts before sending the form data to your database. You want to ensure that it's in the correct format and with the correct types. Yes, that's important. Like ID should be string, customer ID should be string, amount should be number, status should be pending or paid only, date should be string. Okay, so what do you need the customer? Applib, I think we have already entered this, or I invoice. Okay, we've already entered this. So far you only have the customer ID, amount and status from the form. So now type validation. Validate types using a type validation library. You can save time and effort. If, for example, we will use Jod here, a TypeScript first validation library that can simplify this task for you. Next.js, first import this Zod. Okay, import Z from Zod. Action.ts, import Z from Zod. This can validate the form data before saving it to database. Okay, it will validate it. Form schema. We have to place it just above our async function terminal.